And Lewis is on his text messages right now.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
And clearing the sound off my phone. I am here. I'm great, Robert. Thank you for holding down the fort, as you always do so well when I'm traveling, which is almost too much. Um, hey, the rewards miles are building up, though.
The
Woo!
reward miles probably are building up, I would imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing well. I'll be able to travel for a long time. Um, wow, it's good to be back. We are in crazy times. I think people are under this myth that as of November 6th, everything's going to be all patched up. And, you know, I think that was wishful thinking, obviously, because there's still so much work to be done. And that's what we're working on right now.
You know what's interesting is I'm watching the numbers on our shows and other shows, and they're dropping. Everyone is seeing this, and it's exactly that people are like, we made it, we got there, that was the goal, Trump's elected, all going to be good from here, and nothing
Yep.
could be further from the truth.
I think that's naive to think that what we should do is we should be paying more attention now. We should be fighting harder now because you have the momentum, you have the wind at your back. This is when you win the race. We've already done everything that we possibly can to this point. Now we have to you can shift gears, but you have to do a lot more and maybe refocus in other efforts. So we're going to keep going and hope that's the way to motivate people and get them re-engaged. But let's say you believe in Trump and you voted for Trump. Well, Trump needs you. The fact that you're kicking back on doing whatever you're doing right now and you're not interested, I'm telling you, there's a lot more to come. And you and I have said it many times right here. The real shit will happen between November 6th and January 20th. And we're starting to see that right now.
I'm getting notifications of the wildfire nowhere near us, but there's a wildfire up, and it brings up the thinking of out. And the truth of the matter is they can spend days afterwards mopping up and putting out what they call hot spots, right? So hot spots are trees that are still, blazing red on the inside. They're just hot coals and enough wind, and it'll flare up as flames again. And they go through with chainsaws, and for days they're going through it. And we're in that phase right now. It's like, the wildfire's not out. Trump is in. Yeah, okay, that's good. We've got to get to January 20th. And that's not even the end. That is just the beginning of the next phase, the phase three, if you will, of the whole thing. And really, it's exciting to see his cabinet picks. And probably the more exciting part is the fact that this isn't happening like we're kind of assuming it's happening in real time right now. But I believe they've been working on this for months and months and months. They knew this was coming, and they knew that they got that election in their back pocket, and they're launching. I mean, so quickly. It's unbelievable how many picks and how quickly they're coming out. I've never seen this before, and in any other presidential. I've never seen it happen so quickly.
No, in fact, many presidents have announced their cabinet picks post January
Yeah,
20th.
yeah.
So clearly, these have been in the works for a long time. There's a strategy. I think there's some serious 5D chess going on, and we can have that conversation today in regards to some of his picks that people think are leaning Zionist and so on and so forth. I think there's something very interesting. I'd like to focus on that today also, but I'm fascinated by his cabinet picks. I'm not loving all of them, but I don't think we're supposed to, by the way. I think that's kind of what's going on here. So,
Yeah, the 5D
be
chess
very
is the
interesting.
piece we don't know, right? So we can get upset about them. And I see people just ripping some of these picks apart, and I'm like, I'm not there. I'm not there with you because I don't know why he picked them, but there's usually a reason behind it. Remember, the GAO is not involved now, so he's not being given these picks. Apparently, it's his core team, including Elon and RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard are on that core team picking these people. So,
Well, he still has veto power, though.
yeah, he does.
But let's look at it. Let's look at it this way. There's how about a famous coach, UCLA Bruins, John Wooden. Okay,
Hmm.
John. Let's equivalent John Wooden to President Trump. When John Wooden recruits his next incoming college players, is everybody second guessing him? Oh, this one's horrible, or this one's this, or John, you could have done a lot better here, blah, 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 blah. When you have a guy that has such a wonderful track record of success, they don't question him,
Right.
right? President Trump has a pretty damn good track record, and he's been going after the deep state pretty hard. I believe his first 4 years of cabinet picks were either accidentally deep state, which they figured out later, or they're part of the plan. So either way, he would either know what to do and not to do this time. Not 4 years later, 8 years later, right? That's a lot of learning curve there. And if it's part of the plan, they're very strategic on these picks. And clearly, like you said, they've been picked way ahead of time. So even though I don't like them, I'm giving him, I just told my son this because he was a little bit frustrated about some of the picks. I said, I'm giving him till about June of 2025 to see what the fruits of these picks are, because clearly there's a plan here. Now, I think I figured out one plan, maybe two already, so we can talk about that today also in regards to the picks.
Well, his first term, he said this. The GAO, the Government Accountability Office, gave him the picks and told him who to appoint, and he just went along with it, thinking they knew best. And what he ended up with was a lot of deep staters, a lot of career politicians that would do nothing. And he said that's not happening this time, and he changed the game completely. He's self-funded his transition team, where before he waited for the GAO to fund it because that's the way it works, and or has worked for all the presidents before. And he says we're not playing their game. We're gonna take any of their picks. So he's totally on his own right now, and it's the way it should be. It really should be that. It shouldn't be the deep state making those decisions. I mean, they gave him Bill Barr, and they promoted him as being the best thing ever. And it's like, really, this was the worst possible pick for Attorney General you could possibly have.
Well, think of the construct.
Wide ranging. It's like, oh, well, Tulsi Gabbard, she was with WEF. Okay, I've been to bad seminars in my life too. I've been associated with people that aren't great people, but I wasn't friends with them. I didn't do business with them. May have been photographed with them. Yeah, okay. What does that mean? It means nothing.
Uh,
So
what I
guilt by
think about
association, we have to be careful of that.
No, and guilt by picture is just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I see people do this all the time. I don't know how many times people just walk up to me and say, "Can I take my picture with you?" So am I supposed to vet them before I say yes? You know what I mean? May I have your ID? Can you stand by for a second? And I'll have my chief of staff go ahead and check you out before I take a picture with you. It's just when there's a lot of us patriots in this patriot mythology, parroting paper patriot community really frustrate me because I see constantly a picture of somebody with somebody else. And I'm like, really? Especially when it's a pose picture where you know that they just happen to be at the same event. And the next thing you know, they're guilty because they did it to Jason Q. And I defended Jason Q over there's another asshole patriot that went after Jason Q because he was standing next to somebody that happened to be kind of a Bitcoin type scammer or something. Jason didn't know. The lady just came up and said, "Can I take a picture with you?"
Yeah.
Right? And then I go after him. I go, I'm telling this guy, don't be a jerk off. You know he didn't know. Why would you do that just because you want to go after Jason? It's wrong. Right? They do the same thing with the celebrities. They do the same thing with Trump and everybody else. Just stop with that. And you're right. So you nailed it with that. It's crazy. So I had two conversations today that go right into this. I had one conversation with my son. He took me out to breakfast. Thank you. God love him.
It's not even Father's Day. Awesome.
I know. He took me out to breakfast today. And we're talking about some of the picks, right? And he has some real challenges with Elon Musk. And I get it because he's, Elon Musk has not gotten to where he's gotten by being such a great guy. Now, I didn't even go into the 2.0 discussion with him. I just took it on its face. And I said to him, I go, here's the way I look at it. Number one, I'm giving him until June, right? I personally think it's the best pick, but we can go into that later. But let's see what he does, because you know what? It's right now hard stuff, right?
Right.
Sometimes you have to take a different approach to this. So I believe many of his picks also may be compromised. So the second one I had conversations with Alan Fountain. I can see us Trump or somebody else handing them a folder, i.e., maybe Tucker Carlson, handing them a folder and say, "Read that, look it," and he's like, "Wow, this is what we have on you right now. How about you play for the right side instead of the wrong side?" Okay. Yes, sir. You got it.
Hmm.
I really believe that's the way this is working right now. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be freaking out about all these picks, but let's go down the Zionist route because that seems to be the largest patriot push right now. Is he has Zionists in the cabinet. He has like 3 or 4 Zionists in his cabinet, or some lean that way, and I get it. But if let's assume he is playing 5D chess, if he put nobody in his cabinet that has the Israel friendly tilt to them, immediately the media in Israel would be labeling him as an anti Semite. How are you going to take down the deep state and Israel, the head of Israel and the many Ashkenazis, but the Khazarian mafia? How are you going to take them down if they're publicly coming after you? You can't. You have to take them down almost as an ally.
Yeah.
So how do you
Yeah.
do that? What you do is you erode their infrastructure and their finances, because you have to remember the deep state Israel, Netanyahu and so on and so forth. It's all about money. Great. Where do they get their money from? They get their money mainly from the central banking system. Okay, great. So he just said no interest over 10%, completely gone, goodbye, and it lets credit unions compete directly with them. That one thing, and if he gets rid of the Fed, bye-bye, central banking system's gone.
Hmm.
Because they can't operate on a level playing field because they have been playing on their own field while everybody else is on a different field all this time. So he's eroding it from the inside. So on the face of it, he's supporting the deep state Israel, but he's eroding it at the same time. Another example, where else do they make a lot of money? Big Pharma. Okay, well, with the RFK in there, if he just does what he's going to say, sorry, Big Pharma, bye-bye, all your profits go. It's hard to be profitable when you're exposed and you can't make a product that doesn't hurt somebody, which
Right.
their products do, right? Another one, there's a lot of profit in the farming industry for China and for Israel. Okay, well, big agriculture is going down. See the point? So he's eroding them from the inside out. He's taking down the deep state from the inside out. And I can go on, and there's so many things like this. Military-industrial complex. He's got Tulsi Gabbard in there. He don't have any money. Eroding it from the inside out. The deep state gets funded with our taxes. Well, you eliminate 90% of our government. By the way, 40% of our 90% of our government are deep state, Israel-loving people. Again, you see what's happening? All of this is completely just tearing away at their foundation where they're going to fall on their own weight. He doesn't have to. So everybody should take a deep breath with these so-called Zionist picks and understand the way this is working is he's circumventing it, and they can't say anything about it.
Hmm.
You can't. How can you imagine if they say, well, you must be anti-Semite. Oh, are you saying that the Jews are the ones that benefit from the bankers? Same with big farmers. Do you see where I'm going with this? Same with agriculture. He's put them in a position that they can't even defend themselves. They can't cry about it, because if they cry about it, they look like idiots, right? I think it's genius, just absolutely genius. I don't think people are picking up on it just yet, so I'll probably have to do a TikTok video about it.
So the Fulford newsletter on Monday was kind of interesting. It began with the Trump that we're seeing is not the real Trump, and Bruce had posted in our backstage area today that they were seeing that on on X as well. More and more people are questioning the Trump that we saw yesterday at Elon's rocket launch, not the real one. I see picture after picture, and it's like the younger one, the thinner one, doesn't look like the real one to me, and it would make a lot of sense because of all the people he's going after. There's probably a lot of people that would like to take him out. So it makes a lot of sense.
He's
I'm
not
not
going to be
disappointed
there.
we're not seeing the real one.
Yeah, he's not going to be there.
No.
Then look at the little crowd behind him and that close. It's just ludicrous to think he is even there.
Yeah.
But the one that Bruce put out, though, that was AI regenerated from the real one. It was even reversed, by the way.
Oh, wow.
But I checked it out myself. No fault to Bruce. I mean, it's hard to tell. But the reality, though, it still didn't look like the real one. You know what I mean? It still didn't look like the real one. And to me, I thought what was very interesting. Did you see who was standing next to Trump other than Elon?
I didn't notice.
Ted Cruz.
Oh, well, yeah.
Why is that important? Because they put through another judge pick in the Senate,
Federal
and
judge,
Ted
yeah.
Cruz wasn't there to stop it. Oh, it would have done because Kamala is in Hawaii.
Yep.
Very interesting to me.
Well, I think there's a lot to letting them expose themselves, and I think that's certainly what we're seeing. We're really fleshing out who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and you don't want to take your job seriously. Well, then you need to be removed. What can I tell you? You know what I mean? It's just, this is what it is. If the optics are more important to you, being seen with Trump and being seen here at a party or whatever is more important to you than actually being where you're supposed to be to vote, then we don't need you. We really don't. And it's really really good if we get to the point where we get term limits, which I know a lot of people are starting to push for. It'll be interesting to see, because there's no way you should have a Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein, Pelosi, and the list goes on, McConnell, right? They've been there for, 100 years? It's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
So that needs to change.
And who believes Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff actually get reelected?
They don't. Come on, 38 years in a row she's won the election? Come on.
Doesn't happen because she's been so effective.
San
Right?
Francisco is such a beautiful city. It's the most beautiful city in America.
That's right.
If
And
you're
it
into
was
poop,
at
I
one-
mean,
It was at one time.
it was, yeah.
It was at one time. San Francisco was one of the most beautiful cities in America. America also used to be number one in education since Nancy Pelosi's in there. If she's been there 38 years, I think we dropped 1 point every year. We're
I
probably
know.
down.
We're way down the list now, yeah.
38 right now. It's ludicrous, and this is why I'm calling for that full audit. By the way, which is good. I think we're already about 250,000 views on our platforms in that request, so it's getting some traction. And I hear that somebody may be putting it on his desk soon. But putting it on his desk it gets to somebody else's desk to get to somebody else's desk, and then maybe gets to his desk. So I'm not getting too excited about that. I do have a public cry to Elon, everybody. We'll talk about this. And I just got a message today. Can you please extend the free service to hurricane victims on Starlink out through next year? It ends this year. Can you please do that? We'll explain why I'm saying that later today.
December 31st, I think it ends, yeah. We should talk about screwbiggov.com, because it's time to tell you where to go. And it's not the other word. You want to go to screwbiggov.com? That's where you're going to have some fun.
Actually, I will probably tell you where to go. So go to screwbiggov.com if you want to be told where to go.
A place where you will not find any liberals. You will not find any tears. We'll just find a lot of joy and people who are excited about what's going on out there. ScrewBigGov.com. Get on the newsletter. I know some of you are watching today and you're not on the newsletter. You need to be there. Get on it so we can follow up, and also follow up on RenegadeMedia.tv. We're rebuilding the membership website side of that now. And you can follow us also on Telegram at Renegade Media. We're posting there like fiends some days. There's so much going on. So, wow. Lots of fun. Lots of fun to see the comments and see the people interacting. It's often fun to see where people are on a lot of these things. And you can tell when people post comments, you can almost tell where they're getting the bulk of their news from. Are they watching Fox? Are they watching CNN? Are they mainstream? Are they alternative? Are they, Q followers? And really often that other direction, right? So it's really kind of fun because we have a lot of different points of view that pop up on these.
Yeah, we do. I love our channel, what we do, Renegade Media and everything, and um, I'm over the numbers, right? Do the numbers really matter anymore? I don't think so because they're so fake, anyways. I mean, Robert, it just comes down to it. How could we be so popular that we're attacked by the Southern Poverty Law Center as one of the number one places to attack, but we don't have the numbers to show that.
We don't
It
have them.
just
Yeah.
doesn't even add up. Why would we be one of their number one attack? And they have $500 million to put into that if we weren't doing good work or accomplishing something, or we didn't have the numbers. So for us to look at the numbers below the screen, it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. So guys, you just keep doing your job. Just all we ask you to do is make sure you double check to make sure you're followed, because these platforms kick you off even if you're already following them. Like and share, and then you're really helping us a lot doing that.
Yes, we got to stick together. Craziness in the news today. This.
Trump's team with it several times.
Mm-hmm.
So and if you even look at his caravan, they have a communication apparatus on one of their vehicles specifically to make sure they can get comms out no matter what. You don't see that even on Biden's caravan. So let's not forget, let's not buy the mainstream narrative. There is and has been two presidents for a long time. One we can call CIC, one we can call President Trump. And people can dispute me, and I'll just lay it out for them. That's fine. But there has been two. So he can absolutely and should be having talks. I just don't think they will be or should be public. I think these should be private communications. He can sit down with them. But here's the reality. Why would you have any conversation with Zelensky? Zelensky is a 100% puppet of the deep state.
Bingo. Yep.
Right? It literally is. The conversation you do is you have with Putin. Here's Putin. Here's how. If you back up, we will do this for you. If you don't respond, or if you're willing to sign this, we will do this for you. And then you go to deep state, Zelensky and the deep state controllers, and you say, here's the deal. Here's what the negotiation is. This is how you deal with it, or this is what's going to happen, period. Sign now.
Right.
I have a feeling that's more of the type of discussion that will be happening in the background. In the foreground, doesn't make any sense to me. That just causes political crisis. You don't want. Why do you want to give them any ammunition right now whatsoever? I don't think we should.
Yeah. No, and Zelensky's a non-starter. I mean, he's not going to negotiate. He's being pushed by, the powers in the United States to move forward. He's being pushed by NATO.
Yep.
He's been,
Yep.
So he doesn't really have the ability even to say no at this point. I think it's much bigger than just him. And like you said, he's just a puppet. And he will be the fall guy. He'll be the one that'll get taken out. So.
Yep, agree.
They win for a certain amount of time, but they don't win for very, very long. Start your day off with a cup of coffee. How's that sound?
I like the smell of it.
You like the smell. You're not a coffee drinker. I know that. But for those of us who enjoy a little coffee in the morning, I'm going to invite you to go check out screwbiggov.com/health, which will take you to Ascent Nutrition, Lance's company, and get some organic mold and mycotoxin-free coffee, medium and dark roast, either whole bean or already ground for you. I like the whole bean because there's something about grinding your coffee fresh. It smells better even. So this is from Single Origin. This is from Guatemala. He actually knows the farmers there and has tasty notes of almond and caramel, medium and dark roasts. And it is unlike any coffee that you've tasted before. So go check it out. screwbiggov.com/health. It helps us to keep the show on the air and helps Lance as well. And you get to enjoy an amazing cup of coffee every morning if you want.
Love it. And I will say that every morning I smell it. It smells wonderful. I know my wife. I know my friend Alan Fountain. They drink it. They love it. I guess it doesn't have a bitterness that some coffees have. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what I hear. But I do know Lance, and I know that he puts everything into every product that he puts out to. So you know it's the absolute best. But I will. Hey, if anybody wants to serve me up a ice blended mocha with tons and tons of chocolate syrup, I'll be drinking that. It's like candy.
This was inspired by Lance's desire to find coffee on the market that was mold and mycotoxin free. Because he had done the research on it and realized that most of the commercial coffees out there have a lot of mold in it. And you wouldn't suspect that, but as they wash the beans and they roast the beans, well, there's a lot of mold that grows in that. And there's also toxins from the fertilizers, pesticides and stuff. Apparently, to grow coffee, it requires a lot of pesticides. So it's one of the more toxic things you can drink. And he was motivated to find a grower because he wanted to enjoy that cup of coffee without the worry. So this is something close to his heart. That's why we promote it a lot, because it's one of those things that when it's something you want for yourself, you're going to do it right. And this one is absolutely done right.
Yeah. And we love Lance too.
Lovely, lovely. Bathroom talk, huh? That's what we're.
Food and so on and so forth. And then I do think, though, I think the larger part of it, though, is a social construct, and especially now, it's social pressure, which is even worse, right?
Right.
So I don't think these young kids can really figure out who they are, because they're being pressured, like, hey, if you come out of the closet, you're a hero, or if you become a trans publicly, you're a hero. So there's a motivation for them to be that way, when it's just, let's just see how it plays out, right?
Yeah.
And then, as an adult, there's some decisions that you can make as an adult, but all the social pressures that are on them young, are weird. I have met some gay men that I actually think, I'd probably, that's the only direction they would have ever gone, right? And who knows if there's some chemical stuff connected to that? I don't know, but it is very important for us leaning conservative or in the MAGA movement also to try to accept people for who they want to be. Now, I understand there's social pressures on this stuff, so it makes it very hard to detect, is that really who they want to be, or are they being twisted into being that person?
Yeah.
So it's really, really tough.
Yeah.
Regardless, these are adult decisions, not kid decisions, and that's my biggest issue with this altogether.
Yeah, the kid stuff is crazy, over the top. Has no place in society. You got to let the kid grow up before they make their decision. That could go for religion too. It's like the kind of, you're forced into a religion, but maybe you grow up and you get your experience and you decide which way you want to go. And certainly at 5 years old, you have no idea. I mean, we all wanted to be firemen at 5 years old. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, changes over time. All right, shall we go into some of your photos here, Mr. Lewis?
Sure.
Okay. Let's do that. Here's the first photo you sent me this morning. What are we looking
All right,
at?
so I want to see it full screen. I'm going to have to go over to our Rumble feed, so give me a second, because it's usually only behind by 7 seconds. I don't know why it's so far behind right now.
We're not using Restream anymore. We have a new streaming service, so it's a little bit more delayed, I've noticed.
Okay, so this house, one of the reasons why I showed you this house, you can see this house and the one behind it were gutted. Why this is so amazing is something that's going on in northern Tennessee that really didn't go on in North Carolina, is the water moved slower but was a lot wider. So there were places that were, no exaggeration, a half a mile wide of destruction, where in North Carolina, 100 yards of destruction would have been a lot. So you had two different scenarios. In Western North Carolina, you had the speed that just demolished a lot of things, but then you had the width. So there's a lot of property that was decimated, not as much as North Carolina, because they had a little bit more time to make a decision because they saw the water rising. Which we're going to show you probably a video in regards to that today. But the property loss is absolutely horrendous. Let me see if I can get a bigger screen to look at your screen here, Robert, so I don't have to flip back and forth all
Okay.
the time. Because I only get the little one on.
You need two monitors. That's what you need.
No, I have two monitors, but it's still it. I have something ready on my second monitor
Okay.
to show. Hold on a second. Let me make some adjustments here. Because, guys, just so you know, I'm only looking at a small, very small quarter size on Zoom with what Robert has. So this is another house. Now, what I want you to pay attention to here, which we saw a lot of, notice there's a trailer right there. So much stuff was pushed in. Now, this is 8 weeks after cleanup. Can you imagine that? It took the front of this one house out. There was a house next to this on the right. That's bye-bye. You don't see it at all. It's gone. And then all this debris came up. But then we're going to go to the next picture. And I believe this is, yeah. So on that same property, look at the damage that was done to cars. Now, if you're going to notice an X in all these cars, that actually means somebody came and checked it. That does not mean it was the government. These could have actually been volunteer firefighters also. So they checked the X on there, and what that means, they already looked inside, made sure there wasn't a body in it. But look at that destruction Robert's honing in right now. That is incredible. Can you imagine just the force of the water there
That was
to
a
do
pickup
that
truck,
type
I
of thing?
think, right? Look at got a trailer hitch there.
Yep, it was at one time.
Wow.
So even if the water's not moving fast, it's so powerful, and it just crushes stuff. They've taken out so many bridges in Tennessee. It's crazy.
Wow.
Let's go to the next picture. So those are right next to the cars that you saw. So this became a card graveyard. Now what they are doing is local residents are also many cars moved a half a mile down because of the water. So after recovery, they're bringing them back to the landowners themselves in some cases, and in some cases, people will let all the cars stack up in one place because they can't find the land. Suddenly, their $1 million property they get $30,000 for, and just because somebody has a property that's worth $1 million doesn't mean they have a lot of money in the bank. Let me explain the character of the Appalachian people. The Appalachian people are cash type people. They don't like credit. They don't like any of that stuff. They acquire land for a great price at one time, and then with their hands, their calluses, their family, their friends, they build their own houses. And they build something, and then that thing is valued at a lot based on all the efforts over the years they have. So people don't be under the impression because they live on a place that was once valued at $1 million that they have any money. They have no money. That was their only assets. That's what they live for, is to be left alone and completely separate from the government, autonomous from them. So when their houses get washed away, literally, they are left with nothing. Many of them have their cash in their house too, so the cash is downriver as well. And
Yeah.
they have zip. And the
And I'm
government is
wondering how
not
they're
different.
handling the mortgages, because the mortgage is not going to be wiped away if they've
The
got.
mortgage will not be wiped
Yeah.
away. It's scanners. So that's the other thing is we're going to give you $30,000 for and take your property. Well, are they going to pay off the mortgages? How are they going to do that?
Yeah.
Is it a title swap? How can you do that if there's still a mortgage on it? None of this stuff is being explained to the people when they're getting these offers. And they get excited when they get an offer thinking, oh, this is going to be good. And they come back every time they go, well, you're in a flood zone. We can't do anything for you. It's sick. It's just disgusting.
Well, all the money's gone to Ukraine, and they're I think today they passed the bill and they said, hey, Ukraine, 50% of the money we gave you, you don't have to pay back now. Some 43, $41 billion or something, and they're guaranteeing the money that they promised Ukraine will be delivered before January 20th. So
Yeah,
all
of
the money's
course.
going over there, all our ammunition's gone over there, all our military gear's gone over there. It's just insanity. Yeah, they're leaving the United States with nothing.
So, Robert, that's the type of person with the type of character
Mm-hmm.
that we're dealing with.
And
that
he's resourceful at it. You know, many of them are not that resourceful.
they
Many of them are older.
many of them are that resourceful
Yeah,
also. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And he's trying and trying and trying, and nobody's coming to help.
yeah.
Nobody's coming to help except volunteers. You know, and it's tragic because what I believe has happened, and I'm going to be very straightforward because I'm concerned. So what I believe has happened here is President Trump got elected. The day that President Trump got elected, our donations dried up, completely dried up. All of this talk about the hurricane, these people are just now they're just forgotten. They're gone. Because I believe people turned a switch on. And they thought as soon as November 5th happened, President Trump is elected in office. Now, excuse me, I'm still choked up. Everything is going to be better. It's all taken care of now. It's done.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, President Trump, again, I say this all the time, on January 20th, 2017, with the military intelligence behind him, said, we hand it back to we the people. The people get it. I know, and I'm so proud of our Screw Big Gov family because they have volunteered. By the way, I'm still working on a list of volunteers I'm going to put together in the next couple of days. So if I haven't got back to you, I will. They have volunteered. They have prayed. They have driven donations. They have sent truckloads of stuff. So I'm so proud of the Screw Big Gov family and what you have done. So I'm not asking any more from you unless you can give it. If you can give it, give. Just go to hurricanehell.com. I'm going to show our new website that's dedicated to helping these people. But what I would like you to do is at least share hurricanehell.com or share this video. Or if you want me to, I can cut out a portion of this video and you can share that. We have to do everything we can to help. And this is the tip of the iceberg. There's a couple of things that I can't even talk about because we're in the middle of an investigation that will absolutely blow your socks off. So there's a few things happening here that are evident. You've got the government that's corrupt, and you have a corporate greed issue here at the same time. But they're working hand in hand, which we've been warning you about, this corpocracy that handles everything. It is very clear. I've got all the evidence. Not all of it. There's a lot more to gather, but a lot. It's going to blow your mind. So I wish people can keep this in the forefront of your minds. Please keep the Lahain in the forefront of your minds. The deep state wants this to go away. We cannot get this to go away. I do have a little good news. I've been asked to put something together, and I'm going to put together a briefing that may get in front of President Trump. That being said, he can't officially do anything in his capacity yet until January 20th. But maybe he'll draw more attention to it is what all I'm hoping, right? And then we, the people, will step up and do something. So go to hurricanehell.com. In fact, Robert, may I share the screen of what the new website looks like?
Yeah, 25 cents and you can do it.
Got it. 10-4. It's in the mail. All right. I think that's a good perspective there. Let me share it just as regular. My donation kitty completely ran out. And without asking my wife, I purchased 4 Starlinks today. So now and some other things we've been doing lately, giving away cash to some people, which I never advertise. I never put on film who I gave cash to. That's silent. So anytime we give cash out or give gifts to somebody, I gave my sunglasses to somebody because they needed them. None of that stuff goes on film because we don't want to exploit them like that, right? But it's not just me. I can tell you that the people I'm with are constantly doing the same thing. They're giving their sweaters and their jackets and their sunglasses, and they're giving cash all around us. This is what's going on. So the American spirit is very, very high, which is absolutely wonderful, and it's absolutely beautiful. What I will tell you though is, and we just today we just sent up a Starlink to the gentleman you just saw. Two other are being set up today based on the purchase, and one's being sent to somebody that was actually in our documentary who needs internet connection in order to work. So a lot of these people, one of the reasons for Starlink for Mike is his wife does work on the net. She has to drive 45 minutes in order to get a internet hookup. So her getting Starlink keeps her at home, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we donated it to him. So guys, anything you can do to help. I'm not going to let the story go. If it annoys you guys, find another channel, because we're not going to play fluff. You know, you get the good and you get the bad, and we have to keep our frequencies high, of course, but we are not going to bury this. That's exactly what the deep state wants you to do. They want you to ignore these people and let them go to waste. I can tell you there's miles and miles of debris that has not even had a cadaver dog near it yet. So that's what we've been funding as of late. And they walk several miles in a day inspecting this stuff. And I can tell you, we put up 14 flags where those dogs got a hit in just a couple of days. So a lot of work to be done, guys. It's going to take a long time. So if you can help, God bless you. I appreciate it ahead of time. And at minimum,
Really fascinating, right after Trump got elected, how, people's attitudes have changed. It's really is, was a turning point, no question. We expected it would be, but we didn't know exactly how. And now we're seeing a lot of people are just hands off the wheel. They're just, okay, we got where we need to get to. We're done. Life's going to be great again. Not necessarily true. We've got to work on it. Trump's not going to take care of everything. I'm sorry. He's just not going to be able to. He's going to do a lot, but there's a lot more to be done than our government can do. And a lot of it's going to come back to us, especially at the local level.
Yep. So. Yep. Absolutely. And guys, if we're going to take our world back, not even our country, right? If we're going to take our world back and put it in the hands that it needs to be in, we have to be vested in the process, right? You can't. I'm so thrilled that President Trump got elected. But I think he needs us. I wish he, honestly, I wish he would come out more and tell us how much he needs us, because I really believe he needs us to keep the ball running. In the deepest part of my being, I know that it's up to we the people. So we got to step up and take care of business.
It's the only way. It's like we want to sit back and just let other people take care of it, but we're past that now. We saw what happened when we do that, and we lost control of our government, and our government got more and more powerful, and we didn't pay attention. We had plenty of money, economy was good, and you see what happened. The criminal enterprise, if you will, just grew and grew and grew. And now we've got a monster to slay, and it's not going to be easy to get to the other side of this. But we've got to continue the battle. We're not on the other side yet, guys. Just that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, we've got work to be done. There's a comment here from Hobbit, says the young man on the Young Guns series last week, he needed one. Hope he got help. She's referring to a Starlink. Guess what? He did. That's one of the people that we sent a Starlink to today. He'll get his tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. Anything we can do to help. That's our motto. For sure. I did something interesting today. I went to. Are we done with this? Can we jump topics?
No. That's I think I've freaked the people out enough today.
Okay. I went on. Grok is much better than ChatGPT now because it's getting fed current information, right? So, if you look at ChatGPT, if you ask anything political, I think anything past 2022 or 2021, I think it is now, they can't give you anything up to date. But if you go to Grok, I said, what are the top political stories? I said, summarize the top political stories for today. And it did. And what it told me is, we don't need to do this show anymore, Lewis.
All I need to hear. See ya.
We're done. We don't have to do it anymore. Just go to Grok, type that in, and you'll get the top stories of the day. No problem.
One sentence.
Somewhere else. Grok, by the way, is the AI that's built into Twitter or X.com now. If you're a paid subscriber, you can use Grok and you can ask questions. It's just like ChatGPT. You ask questions and it brings up the answers. So kind of interesting. You could do that. Kind of fun. So this was Elon Musk. We're on the Elon topic today. So from Babylon B says, before Doge cuts funding, NIH are working feverishly to complete a study on the effects of giving meth to jetpack-wearing hamsters. And Elon Musk said, to be honest, I wouldn't cut that funding.
He would say that'd be too fun, right?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
Babylon B strikes again. We love it. It's funny. It's all good, all in good fun. Trump's legal case is gone. We talked about that yesterday in international relations. Let's see. We talked about Putin wanting to have a ceasefire, but he has to talk to Trump about it. We don't care about that. And we talked about Howard Lutnick yesterday. So we're actually ahead of Grok. We were one day ahead. So if you want yesterday's news, go to Grok. If you want today's news, come here. Well, that is that. I am going to be taking next week off. I'm not going to do shows next week. I really need a break. I'm seriously burned out. So
Me too.
Taking a little break and catching my breath because boy, oh boy, there's a lot going on. Now, the exception is going to be if something important happens and, we'll turn on the cameras. But other than maybe doing a Thanksgiving message, I don't know that I'll be doing much else other than that. Taking a break, much needed. How about you?
All right, I'll grab the ball.
You don't have to grab the ball. We can have, best of.
Yeah. I was thinking, there's a lot of ideas. Before we leave, let me just say there's a couple of ideas in the chat. Lori Banks, 1969, says, I pledged $40 to Hurricane Helene. Why don't everybody in the chat make a pledge now to help support? Appreciate that. Mm-hmm. And then there's another one here that said, can't find it. They said, here it is. Angels Among Us 2023. If we get asked what we want for Christmas, we should say donate to hurricanehell.com. And some people agreed. So I think that's beautiful, you guys. Yeah. Thank you. Anything we can do to help. The reality is hopefully in the future, because of Trump and his administration, we won't be dealing with weather warfare like this, and we won't be dealing with this type of corruption. But unfortunately, right now we are. I'm also considering an idea. I say considering on purpose. It's just an idea of maybe creating through Freedom and Action a system that is built in where we have the first responders ready, and we have the type of needs that somebody would need ready, and we can respond really quick to these things and organize. And if we have a decent government in the future, even local, we can work with them boots on the ground, and they'll trust that we know what we're doing. Because I can tell you, these people are learning very, very quick. And the ICs, the incident commanders that I've been meeting, the boots on the ground, the SAR teams are top notch. And if they didn't know it, they know it within 2 days, and they become experts at this. So something that I'm looking at possibly doing in the future. So we'll have an infrastructure set up that can go like this in emergency, because I really, truly believe it does go back to we the people.
Love the ideas coming in the chat room. Thank you guys for that. And, keep sending them our way. If you want to reach Lewis Grubig Gov at protonmail.com, you can email directly there, or there's a text phone number on the Hurricane Hell website at the very bottom there. You could text them as well with, any idea that you have that would be helpful to help raise funds, because raising awareness, yes, that's important. And if we don't have big media on our side, then it's just up to us. And we've got the following we've got. And, the more we can do to share and to get the word out, more people will step up and help. So what you're telling me is if I go to the mall and there's that fake Santa Claus there with the bell and the red kettle, walk past them. Don't drop any money in there. Okay.
I'm not telling you that. I think your conscience is telling you that.
Was it Salvation Army, right? That does that? Yeah.
Oh, don't even get me started. Yeah.
Oh, I
How
know.
about the red? How about the Red Cross, guys?
Yeah.
Oh God, the chat's gonna heat up now.
Well, it should. That's what it's there for. And it's, now that you guys realize this, we don't have the ability to turn off the stream like we used to in Rumble. They stopped that. So the chat's open for, I think it's almost a half hour after the show's over. So you guys can stay in there and chitter chatter all you want. You don't have to run just because we're playing the outro. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, you just set it up for the trolls to fuck with my chat now.
Sorry about
So
that.
I was gonna say, so now admins, please, somebody's gonna have to hang by for a half hour to start going delete, 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 delete.
Yep.
Aye, that's funny.
Yep.
So this is Robert's last day here for about 10 days, actually, maybe about 14 days, right? No, about 11 days.
11 days. Yeah. Well, yeah, about 11 days. Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody give Robert some love. He needs to take care of some business at home. I was going to say he needs to chill and relax, but I know Robert, he's going to be working on the farm.
We have electrical stuff going on. I think it's the week after Thanksgiving, so that may interfere with the shows as well. They're going to turn the power off here 1 or 2 days, and with no power, there's not even any cell connection because we need a booster to be able to get the cell phone connection in here. So I'm like totally disconnected from the world at that point. So it'll be 2 days of nothing for me. So we'll see when they haven't scheduled it yet. They've got to figure out when parts are going to come in and stuff. But yeah, it'll be a busy week of that kind of stuff happening around here. So I'm going to rest because I need to. I've been just going way too many hours and sleeping way too little. And you guys could tell I'm a little tired. So, a little break's
No,
going to
that's
be
good.
good.
You need the rest. You
Yeah,
do.
absolutely. Yeah.
Carol, thank you. She just donated $100. Thank you for the efforts, guys. And again, I know you guys have already Screw Big Gub team and this your family. You've just done so amazing. So I'm not really asking you for money. If you have it, great. But getting the word out is really what we're asking. My wife pointed that out to me today. She's like, they've done about everything they probably could. And she said, she asked me personally, she goes, can you ask them just to send it out? She's right. She's right. You guys have been absolutely amazing.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. I could never, ever imagine how blessed we are to have a Screw Big Up family like this and Renegade Media family that when we asked to step up, they just went bam to a level that's just unbelievable.
Yep.
And by the way, the people I talk to are so elated. I have people I don't even know that just walk up and just give me a hug and just start crying. So they know what you're doing, guys. Thank you.
Outstanding. And have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. And we'll see you after Thanksgiving because we'll be in the, what is it, the downslope toward Christmas, that Black Friday forward. Boy, that time feels like 15 minutes and it just goes,
When's Thanksgiving?
Next week? Next Thursday?
Okay. Well, I'll be here next week.
Okay.
Don't be throwing our audience to the curb. I'll be here.
I'm saying it. For me.
Damn. All right, Rob. Love you very much. We'll talk to you soon.